The core of XP is the interconnected set of software development practices. While it is possible to do these practices in isolation, many teams have found some practices reinforce the others and should be done in conjunction to fully eliminate the risks you often face in software development. The XP practices have changed a bit since they were initially introduced. In this video, we will be talking about all 13 XP practices, one at a time. Sit together. Since communication is one of the 5 values of XP, and most people agree that face-to-face conversation is the best form of communication. Have your team sit together in the same space without barriers to communication, such as cubicle walls. Whole team. A team in XP is a cross-functional group of people with the necessary roles to create a product. This means people with a need as well as all the people who play some part in satisfying that need, all work together on a daily basis to accomplish a specific outcome. Informative workspace. Set up your team space to facilitate face-to-face communication. Allow people to have some privacy when they need it. And make the work of the team transparent to each other, and to interested parties outside the team. Utilize information radiators to actively communicate up-to-date information. Energized work. You are most effective at software development and all knowledge work when you are focused and free from distractions. Energized work means taking steps to make sure you are able physically and mentally to get into a focused state. This means do not overwork yourself, or let others overwork you. It also means stay healthy, and show respect to your teammates to keep them healthy. Pair programming. Pair programming means that all software is developed by 2 people sitting at the same machine. The idea behind this practice is that 2 brains and 4 eyes are better than 1 brain and 2 eyes. You effectively get continuous code review and faster response to nagging problems that may stop one person from completing their work. Teams that have used pair programming have found that it improves quality and does not actually take twice as long. Because they are able to work through problems quicker. And they stay more focused on the task at hand. Thereby creating less code to accomplish the same thing. Stories. Describe what the product should do in terms meaningful to customers and users. These stories are intended to be short descriptions of things users want to be able to do with the product. Stories can be used for planning and serve as reminders for more detailed conversations when the team gets around to implementing that particular story. Weekly cycle. The weekly cycle is similar to an iteration. In the case of XP, the team meets on the first day of the week to reflect on progress to date. The customer picks the stories they would like delivered in that week, and the team determines how they will approach those stories. The goal by the end of the week is to have running tested features for the selected stories. The intent behind the time-box delivery period is to produce something to show to the customer for feedback. Quarterly cycle. The quarterly cycle is similar to a release. The purpose is to keep the work of each weekly cycle in the context of the overall project. The customer lays out the overall plan for the whole team in terms of features desired within a particular quarter. When planning a quarterly cycle, the information about any particular story is at a relatively high level. The order of story delivery within a quarterly cycle can change, and the stories included may also change. Slack. The idea behind Slack in XP is to add some low-priority tasks or stories in the weekly and quarterly cycles that can be dropped if the team gets behind on more important tasks or stories. In other words, the team accounts for the variability in estimates to make sure they leave themselves a good chance of meeting their forecasts. 10-minute build. The goal with the 10-minute build is to automatically build the whole system and run all of the tests in 10 minutes. XP suggests a 10-minute time frame because if a team has a build that takes longer than that, it is less likely to be run frequently. This practice encourages teams to automate their build process so that they are more likely to do it on a regular basis and to use that automated build process to run all of their tests. Continuous integration. Continuous integration is a practice where code changes are immediately tested when they are added to a larger code base. The benefit of this practice is to be able to catch and fix integration issues faster. This practice requires some extra discipline and is highly dependent on 10-minute build and test-first development. Test-first programming. Instead of following the normal path of develop code, write tests, run tests. The practice of test-first programming goes: 1. Write failing automated test. 2. Run failing test. 3. Develop code to make test pass. 4. Run test. Then repeat. As with continuous integration, test-first programming reduces the feedback cycle for developers to identify and resolve issues, thereby decreasing the number of bugs that get introduced into production. Incremental design. The practice of incremental design suggests that you do a little bit of work up front to understand the proper perspective of the system design, and then dive into the details of a particular aspect of that design when you deliver specific features. This approach reduces the cost of changes and allows you to make design decisions when necessary, based on the most current information available.